I'm Vincent, and I'm a graduate student at Western Carolina. I've been a part of DegreePlus for about 6 years now, so I'm very excited to be presenting to you guys today. Now this fall, to practice cultural responsiveness, I wanted to learn about and then compare and contrast queer pride events in the South. I went to a rural one, which was Blue Ridge Pride, and an urban one, which was Atlanta Pride. I decided this would be my level 3 project because by learning about these events through the learning objectives, I hope to better understand my biases about queer spaces in the South, as well as professional and academic opportunities as I plan for a doctorate in sexuality with a focus on queer history and issues. Before attending these events, I looked into the key issues and historical paths of both of them. I learned that Atlanta Pride had a very rich history as far back as 1969 and had been well documented ever since. The first Pride was small, only about 100 attendees, and was focused on bringing political change to Atlanta. Meanwhile, Blue Ridge Pride, located in Asheville, was not as well documented. Though Asheville is seen as a queer haven, no major political events have been documented. Also, Blue Ridge Pride was, until about 2 years ago, the only significant Western North Carolina Pride. This Pride is a little over a decade old, the first one happening in 2009, with 2,000 attendees, and was focused on bringing the community together. Though the size and attendance of both of these prides today differ drastically, the sense of community and regional pride was the driving force at both events. Now, as I said, one of my main reasons for choosing this project was my own beliefs, and the learning about the history in these areas and experiencing the community helped me challenge those beliefs. Going in, I believed that rural pride would be small and heavily protested, while the urban one would be more authentically lively and less protested. As I experienced, though, the urban one was actually more protested. It turned out that being more rural didn't increase religiousness, but that increased attendance resulted in more protesting and attention. Additionally, the urban one, if anything, felt less authentically lively than the rural one, with stages covered in major corporation logos, a concept called rainbow capitalism. Also, both prides had significant religious attendance in affirming ways, which I had not expected before attending. And then finally, both prides also had an equal amount of joy and heart, which can't be quantified. When planning this project, I was concerned that I would not have much to practice when it came to cultural sensitivity and respect, which was naive of me. Pride events aren't just home to queer people, but they're home to queer people of color, religious queer people, gender queer people. I learned that the intersectionality of the community required less generalization on my part. An example of this concept of not judging a book by its cover or a person by their appearance was the majority of attendees wearing pronoun pins. Though a person may look away, you would assume one set of pronouns for. The sensitive and respectful way to refer to people are however they label themselves. Next, I considered how these events were unfamiliar cultural spaces and experiences for me. Before these experiences, I had never openly gone to a Pride event, let alone one as large as Atlanta Pride. Nor had I been in the space of a long-standing drag show, which I had the opportunity to go to during Atlanta. Nor had I attended a Pride event for a full day instead of ducking in and out from nerves. These are both weekends of many firsts for me and expanded my perceptions of queer pride in the South. Now, one of the best things I walked away with from these events were the resources and forms of advocacy I learned about. Though some booths at the festival were social or capitalistic, many were focused on providing equitable resources or promoting social advocacy. For example, both prides had resources for youth and health and politics, but Atlanta had more job opportunity resources, and Blue Ridge had more environmental advocacy, like the Sierra Club, both of which reflected directly on their communities. Personally, since Blue Ridge Pride, I'd been volunteering at a local food bank called Loving Food Resources, which provides food for people with AIDS as well as people in hospices. So, to close, this project really helped me grow as a person, as an academic, and as a professional by studying and experiencing these Pride events through the key learning objectives. Personally, it challenged prejudiced beliefs that I had, as well as taught me that there is no one or right way to be queer. Academically, it gave me a good foundation by teaching me about queer history in the South, as well as furthering educating me on the community as a whole before applying for doctorate programs. And then professionally, it made me challenge my anti-rural acceptance beliefs, which was vital because I want to work within the queer communities, and I was concerned I would have to move to more urban or northern areas. Plus, fully involving myself in these prides, even if I was uncomfortable, let me connect with all sorts of organizations that work with the community that I could potentially work with. All in all, this project helped me holistically grow, and I'm grateful I had the opportunity. Thank you very much.